in the pan. We're going to take just 2 little nubs of whole butter, and we're literally just going to toss this until the greens are just wilted.
It's wilting.
And the butter. Now, we talked about eating healthy, and people are looking, oh my Lord, look at all the butter. But everything in moderation.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
If you eat butter today, don't eat it tomorrow. All right?
Oh,
That's
I thought maybe just don't eat it later.
Just don't eat it later. Not more than twice a day. As you can see, I'm just mounting the butter with a little sauce. It's actually, the butter helps to thicken that sauce.
Yeah, that's all. No flour.
No flour at all. And then we're just going to wilt. You can see the bright green of the watercress.
Yes, looks awesome.
And then we're simply just going to take this,
I
set
could
that
make
right
this.
over the fish. You can do this.
Yes. I like how the fish looks. It doesn't even look like salmon, actually.
Right.
It really doesn't.
And then we're just going to spoon that over. That's all set.
That looks very delicious.
And it's always good to use a rim plate just to catch a little of that sauce.
Yeah.
Now, and if you want a little piece of toast, a little bread.
Now, you're set.
We had talked about earlier, what would you serve with this? Not much.
Yeah?
I mean, you have your vegetable. You could do a little green bean in there. I always like to do fish fairly simple with a technique that how the fish is prepared. You would prepare the potato. I would even do like a boiled potato with parsley with this. Very simple eating.
Very good.
Are you
And
ready
it
to try it?
looks healthy. I would love to try it.
Okay. There you go.
I'm going to try it real quick.
Tell
And
me
I
what you
want to
think.
thank you so much for joining us today. You
Okay.
just had to walk across campus. And that is awesome. I love the crunchiness of the salmon.
Yeah, it has
It's
a little
awesome.
texture to it.
So thank you very much. We
You bet.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Stay
for having
tuned
me.
for more chefs.
Thanks, Tina. We'll get back to the kitchen in just a moment. But right now, we'd like to ask you to pledge your support for WBGU TV Public Television so that we can continue to bring you programs like WBGU Cooks. I'm Steve Kendall. I'm here with Jane Meyer. And Jane, why don't you tell the folks what kind of ways they can help us support programs like this?
Well, exactly, Steve. And there are several incentives to help you make your pledge today. And one of the recipe cards, if you make a pledge of $40. The recipe cards and the book is for $60. The cards, books, and the member card, and this is really beneficial. This has lots of deals in here, and they're all segmented by areas of the, immediate areas. And then the 10 cookbooks and everything else is $250 if you make a pledge or gift that.
Yeah. So if you pledge at those levels, you get all of those different things at the various levels, and it allows us to be able to fund a program like WBGU Cooks, because it does cost a little money to produce these, and of course it allows us to buy other programs as well. So if you're a Red Green supporter, or Lawrence Welk, or even Nova, Frontline, Nature, Antiques Roadshow, Masterpiece Classic with Downton Abbey, those are all things that cost us money to provide. So you pledging money as a viewer help us bring that kind of content, as well as all the local programs that we do as well. And the member card's real interesting because that's 2-for-1 dining, 2-for-1 different attractions around Northwest Ohio, Southeastern Michigan. So if you have a restaurant that you haven't tried, this is an easy way to say, you know what, I'll go there and I'll get like a 2-for-1. If I like it, great, I've got a really great deal. I haven't invested a lot. If I go then, well, if, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, it's not like you spent a lot of money either. So it's a great thing to do. Plus, it kind of gets you out to travel around Northwest Ohio and Michigan and Indiana. So all good kind of things. Now, one of the other things, we're going to try the salmon here. But what I always find amazing is we're close enough to where they're cooking to smell everything while it's cooking. And it's like the anticipation of waiting for the food to get here is pretty incredible. So we've got that. And I guess the other thing too, keep in mind that we're offering this cookbook, which is seasonal selections, and it has all kinds of recipes, again, submitted by viewers and members from all over the area, divided up by the seasons, hence the name Seasonal Selections. So there's kind of spring things, fall things, summer things, and winter meals. And hopefully we'll focus on spring and summer as we go along here, since we're kind of coming out of winter anyway. So once again, if you want to help support the programming, Jane, why don't you tell them one more time how they can help support the program?
Certainly. The recipe cards are for a gift of $40. The recipe cards and the book, the cookbook, for $60. Cards, book, and the member card with all the value in here is a $100 gift, and 10 cookbooks and everything else for $250.
Yeah. And I'm going to try the food here real quick.
Likewise.
And keep in mind, too, that it's important that you call and support programs like this because, again, without your support, we can't bring the local programs and the national programs that are such an important part of public television, especially WBGU TV. So, again, take a look at that number and make sure you give us a call. or go to WBGU.org and help support public television. So how was it?
Very good,
Very
very
good. I'm going to try a little bit here because I know we have a
And Steve,
moment or two.
Chef Patrick mentioned when we were talking about it with the salmon, what would be a good accompanying dish in a summer potato and green bean salad out of the cookbook.
Ooh.
He thought would be perfect for it.
This is just amazing. And when I was watching him, he talked about how he was cutting this really thin because typically salmon, you get a fairly thick fillet. This was like sliced nice and thin. He flipped it over a couple of times. And I thought what was amazing is when he was doing whatever that motion is with the frying pan, I was thinking, if I was doing that, stuff would be all over the kitchen. Nothing would be left in the pan. He's just like whipping right through that like nobody's business. So it was really good. So again, make sure you go to the website, WBGU.org, or call the number and support public television here on WBGU TV. And we're going to be going right back to the kitchen with Tina.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome back to our kitchen. And now we are joined with Sandra from the Andersons, who is going to make the Italian Tower of Power.
Yes, welcome from the Andersons. So we're going to start out with this great dish that involves beautiful olive oils infused with various flavors and balsamic vinegars. We have over 24 of them over at the store in these beautiful fusties, which are the metal containers that are direct from Italy.
And you're going to have some recipes.
We're going to have some recipes.
So we know what to do with all these wonderful flavors.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this is this can be vegetarian. Today we're going to put some chicken into it.
Okay.
You can also make this in advance. It's great for any season, especially the spring, summer, and fall. So why don't we start? We're going to do a little bit of prep work.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start out with a little bit of our vegetables. And today what we're going to use is we're going to use some beautiful tomato. We're going to use some of our fresh mozzarella that we hand pull twice a day. It's amazing. We hand pull it. It's warm, it's beautiful. It's really can be eaten anytime, but in the first 24 hours.
Now, what do you mean by hand pulled?
Well, it's handmade. It's handmade
Okay.
mozzarella. It's pulled just sort of like taffy. And then we're going to do some eggplant and some fresh sweet onion and zucchini. And a lot of people that really don't care for eggplant end up loving this dish, very creamy. And as you see here, we have an eggplant over there, and that's even a little bit large. If you start out with smaller eggplants, you're going to love it. They have fewer seeds in it. Oh. So why don't we do this? We've pre-cut a little of this beautiful, soft, fresh mozzarella. And we're going to start preheating our pan because that's where people tend to fall down. The pan's not hot enough. And we have this beautiful piece of eggplant. And we notice we cut this zucchini on the bias, meaning a really deep angle. We'll take a page from the Asians because they cut their vegetables in such a beautiful manner. And it really does affect the flavor.
Oh,
and then we have our gorgeous tomato right here. So let's now make up a bit of a marinade, and we're going to use a white balsamic vinegar, which some people are not familiar with because it's made from white grapes versus
that's what the white meant, huh?
yeah, instead of red grape. So we're going to do 3-to-1, which is a really nice ratio, and that is 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar, and we are going to put in a blended Tuscan herb infused oil. And the great thing about all of these, this is 3-to-1, so if you did 1 tablespoon of balsamic, it would be 3 tablespoons of this. So let's put this in.
And you were saying these oils have a lot with the freshness of the flavor. It's something you wouldn't even think.
Right. It's all natural flavors. We're used to a lot of artificial flavors, and these are all natural. And if you were to taste an orange or a lemon olive oil or a blackberry, we're used to artificial flavors, and when people first taste them, their eyes usually roll back because it's floral, it's delicious. Here's a nice chef's blend that people can make at home, and it's 1 part salt, sea salt, to 4 parts salt, sea salt, to 1 part granulated garlic, which is real garlic, and 1 part pepper. So 4 to 1 to 1. And you can just use this on everything and have it right by your cooktop. So we have a lot in there. You want to season things well. We put in our Tuscan herb infused. Now we're going to put in a little bit of the garlic. And we're going to whisk this in. There's some garlic oil.
And does that go a long way, the garlic? And when you use the infused, you probably don't need to use as much?
No, yeah, just enough. You get the feel for it. That's a good question, though. That's an excellent question. So as you notice, it starts to emulsify or thicken up a little bit. And then we've got some other fresh herbs. We also have some dried Italian herbs, which you might use at home. So we're going to use a pinch of that, but we're going to blend in some fresh herbs as well. And you can do different levels. We're going to take the pan off and on so it doesn't get too angry. And we're going to use fresh too. And this is some fresh thyme. So we've had these beautiful herbs here.
And it smells wonderful. I wish they could smell this, all the oils.
Now the important thing is, I want you to put your little finger in there. Just dab it in. Is to taste. And people will tell me that they make dishes, and at the end they'll say, well, you know,
Oh no, I'm always tasting.
it really doesn't come out the way that I wanted it to. And I said, did you taste all along the way? You season and taste along the way. And this is the first thing you learn is to season. And seasoning means salt. Salt's kind of become an ugly
Right,
word,
yeah.
but use your sea salt. Less strong and harsh. It's more mild. So let's drizzle this. Our tomato, our gorgeous eggplant, our wonderful sweet onion. And pretty soon we're going to have
I
everything
know, I
coming
can't
in.
wait.
Here we go. Now we have our wonderful chicken breast. And I didn't show you this chicken breast, but what I love about cooking with chicken is it's very clean tasting. It's mild. It'll take on some great flavors. But what we did, if you notice on the camera, it's a thinner cut. If you go home with super thick chicken breast, people tend to become disappointed. The outside gets dry before you're done. So have them cut it into a nice cutlet. And we do that at the store. We have a butcher. No charge. House of Meats will cut it any which way you want. Now, when you're getting ready in the kitchen, you want to put your hands about 4 inches over and have some nice heat on that. And if you start putting your vegetables or your meats in and they don't sizzle, take it out and wait a little bit longer and be patient with it. We're going to do a little bit more seasoning on this little chicken here. We want to season everything. That's got the garlic, the pepper, and the salt. And while these cook, which we're going to put on, and let's just do it. A lot of these are finishing oils, but you can use regular canola or olive, but we have it here right now. So you got a little smoke coming off. That's good. That is very good. All right, let's put on our.
This is going to smell wonderful when you put
yeah.
all these flavors. Oh, yep.
And this is an indoor grill pan, but of course, you can put it out on your grill. Weather's really bad. You could do these vegetables on high heat in the oven. 425 minimum. Line your pans, or you'll be coming up to the store talking to me on how everything is tough
Hey,
for
this
you.
didn't turn out right.
There you go, and it's beautiful zucchini. And people I find that don't even care for squashes and so forth do very well on this dish. Lots of beautiful flavors.
Well, there's so many other flavors, yeah, that.
Okay, so we'll put this over here in the meantime. And if you listen, can they hear? Can our audience hear?
Yep.
Here, you can't smell though.
No, that's
right.
the smell-o-vision.
You do cook with your ears as well. If you were to put that on there and not have a nice sizzle, again, take it right off. It doesn't sound violent, but it
No,
sounds
but
like
you
we're
can tell,
making
yep.
progress, so this is a good thing.
Yep.
Okay, let's take this over here. Give a little wipe. At home, we do a little mise en place, meaning everything in its place. Okay, now we go to preparing some of our garnish, and we have this beautiful Columbus brand salami. It comes in larger chubs and smaller, but this is
And you said
the
that's
Mercedes
something
of salami.
you don't
Only
need a lot
high-end
of. Yeah.
delis have this, and we're making what's called a chiffonade, a very fine, ribbony kind of effect with this, and we're going to do some garnish. Little bit goes a long way. This is almost enough for 2 portions.
Wow.
So really we are going to have full flavor from all these olive oils, and we're also going to have full flavor from our garnishes. All right, now the other thing we're going to cut up another chiffonade, meaning little ribbons, is some basil. And if you want to cut them in some nice fine ribbons, just take your leaves and stack them up.
Which that smells awesome as well.
We were
It's
smelling
a-
it before we went on. And we roll it up.
Oh.
Right? How we doing over there, Tina? You want to
Yep.
check them?
Yeah, I'll check that.
Okay, just lift it. Oh yeah, turn
Yeah.
her over.
Yep.
Beautiful, gorgeous. Now watch your tomato. Yeah, we can do more on that. A little
More
bit
on
more.
that, okay.
Yeah, we want to get.
Zucchini looks good.
So we want to make a nice ribbon here, chiffonade. Okay, gorgeous. So we have that, and now we have our really nice roasted garlic. So we have our beautiful garnishes here, and each one of these is going to build a component of flavor.
So-
You can do this in advance.
Okay.
You can have everything done, even the chicken if you want to do it.
Which you do, right?
yeah,
We're going to
so
start putting this together.
we're
We
gonna
ready
start
to do it?
putting
You want
this
me to bring
together.
this over here to you?
Okay, I'm going to put it right in
Okay.
the middle.
Yep.
Is that good?
Perfect. Yep.
So we have this. You want to flip our
Yep.
little.
Let's flip the tomato.
Right, flip our tomato over. Okay, we're looking for color. And we have a gorgeous chicken breast right here. Hold on for that. So let's start by assembling. And this beautiful grilled onion that we have. Okay. And then we're going to put on this luscious piece of eggplant, and people that don't like eggplant just absolutely love this. Then we have our beautiful puree. So we're going to put just a little bit of this. This is going to add some beautiful, natural, healthy flavor. Then we are going to put on our gorgeous piece of marinated mozzarella. Okay, and then we're going for our tomato. What doesn't go better than that?
Yeah.
And keep in mind, you can reheat these if you've made them in advance. Just throw them in the oven.
So it is more of a warmer dish then.
You can go either way. Now we're going to put just a little bit more of this gorgeous. Oh, we got a nice chunk in there, didn't we? We'll have to eat that later. Look at that, very nice. And then we go on to our chicken. And I'm going to cut him down so he has a little bit pretty presentation. Look at that, isn't he gorgeous?
Oh.
Isn't he gorgeous? And then we're going to garnish it with this beautiful grilled zucchini. We could even use 2 on here. Isn't that nice? And now for our garnish, we're going to put this beautiful chiffonade of our salami, and I have some pre-done, and we're just going to shower this over the top. See, you're not getting a whole lot, just a little bit. And then we're going to put this wonderful fluff up your basil. Oh, isn't that nice?
Yes.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's awesome.
A lot of layers of flavor here. And then we've got these roasted garlic nuggets that we're going to throw around the plate.
It smells wonderful.
Right, and now we have this balsamic glaze, and you can make it yourself at home. You just cook it down with a little bit of pinch of sugar or honey. But we're going to today, see how pretty that is? Look,
That's
everyone's
awesome.
a chef today. Yeah. And there you go.
Very nice.
And you can personalize any of this. Let's put a little sprig of.
While she's doing that,
let's do some time.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Come visit
Sandra.
us at the Andersons. All of our Andersons have these wonderful olive oils. Everything's available for tasting. It's a lot of fun. Learn to cook with us at the cooking school and come and visit. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tina, and we'll be right back to the kitchen in just a moment. But we'd like to take a second and just have you support WBGU TV, and in a moment we'll tell you how you can do that. But your support allows us to bring you programs like WBGU Cooks and all the other great programs we have on public television. Now, there's a quick way to support this. Jane's going to tell you how you can support WBGU Cooks and all the other great programs. Jane?
Certainly, Steve. There's several incentives to make your pledge today. And one is you can get recipe cards if you make a pledge of $40. Recipe cards and the book, the cookbook, at $60. And then cards, book, and the membership card, which is a lot of value to this, isn't there, Steve?
Exactly.
And then there are all the other cookbooks, there's 10 in total, and everything else for a pledge of $250 today.
Right, and of course with the membership card, that's a card that's good for restaurants and attractions all over Northwest Ohio and Southeastern Michigan. And it's usually 2-for-1 dining, so you can try a restaurant or an attraction you thought, hey, you know, I'd always like to do that, but this is a way to do it and kind of get a great price at the same time, and you might go back again. Now, in just a moment, we're going to taste the Italian Tower of Power, because again, we're sitting here watching it being prepared. It's just amazing how it looks and how it smells. And if you folks could only taste and smell, it's just incredible. So we'll be talking about, we'll be doing that in just a moment. But keep in mind too that of course, what we do programs like WBGU Cooks, it really is almost, it's got a little documentation of the culture of the area, because this is the food that people are eating here in Northwest Ohio and around the area. So it's a little sort of history lesson at the same time, as well as a wonderful appetizing exercise for us as well. So again, if you want to help us support programs like this so we can bring you additional episodes of WBGU Cooks, tell us again how they can do that.
Certainly, certainly. You can make your gift today, and if you make a gift of $40, you'll get the recipe cards, which are pies, and those are really nice to have. I've been looking through those. Recipe cards and the cookbook for a gift of $60, and there's lots of recipes by seasons in here.
Yes.
And then we have the cards, the book, and the membership card, which is, this is really important because there's lots of value to this. And then all the 10 cookbooks and everything else for a gift of $250.
Right. And all of that money goes into the acquisition of programs, allows us to produce programs like this, but also produce all our other local programs, and of course acquire other programs you're familiar with like Downton Abbey and Nova and Frontline, Antiques Roadshow, Austin City Limits. And then our local programs like BGSU Brain Game, Northwest Ohio Journal, Scenic Stops, Music's Brewing at Coffee Amici, BG on TV. So all of those programs are supported by you calling in at the number that you see or going to our website at WBGU.org and pledging an amount. And of course, if you pledge the amounts we've talked about for this, you get the wonderful recipe book, the cards, and some great things. So anybody can become a chef eventually. For me, it would be a long, long time, but there's even hope for somebody like me. So again, make sure you do that. And keep in mind, too, that every time you pledge, you support not only our programming here, but also, of course, public television at large, which is a great benefit, not just here in Ohio, but around the country as well. So in just a moment, we're going to, well, in fact, right now, we're going to try the Italian Tower of Power here. And it's been carved up into tastefully bite-sized pieces that even I can eat without making a total fool of myself. But
there's the chicken.
Yeah, there's the chicken. Oh my, is that great or what?
It is wonderful.
Totally Toledo. I think I'll have
And
to
it's
have a little more of
doable, very doable.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yes.
presentation's wonderful on it. I think anybody would be impressed.
Yeah, it is incredibly good. So while I'm talking with my mouth full, we'll get right back to the kitchen with Tina and another chef here on WBGU Cooks.
Good deal.
Welcome back to our kitchen. Now we have with us Diane Rogers. Used to have Sid and Diane's restaurant, if anybody's familiar with that, and she's going to make risotto today, which I'm very excited about because I've never tried it. Wanted to, but it's a little intimidating. So, and you're telling me
so
no.
Good. No, do not be intimidated.
Yes.
And as I've told people before, if it doesn't come up quite right the first time, try it again.
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes you have to just practice. So risotto, it really is easy and it's so good and it's worth the trouble. I'll continue to talk as I make this. So I made my own chicken stock.
Okay.
Because it's so much better for risotto. And what I'm doing is pulling off the fat, or AKA schmaltz, off the top. Then I'm going to saute the vegetables. And what I've done, the vegetables that you start risotto with, which you need to saute first, are carrot, celery, and onion. And carrot is sometimes, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing straight mushrooms, I might not do the carrot. But because of shrimp and asparagus, I put the carrot in, and also some shallots and garlic. So it's a shallot that I minced up, 2 cloves of garlic that I minced up, about a half of a small onion, and